Neptune moves into Aries today. This is one of the biggest astrological events of 2025. Astrologers have been talking about this for a good long time and for a good reason. So this is our daily energy report. We've been doing this every day during the last 6 days for this eclipse season. This is March 30th. I want to give you the down and dirty. I should say the skinny. I feel like I want to give you the skinny today on what it is that we can do to, one, understand what this means for us in our lives, like get some, if we can, with Neptune energy, some grounded clarity around what this means, and then also some ways to work with it. So this is an extraordinary spiritual transit. It is otherworldly. It is on the other side of the veil. Although Neptune moving into Aries, it's almost like he's coming onto this side of the veil. So he was in Pisces. That's the other side of the veil. That's the unseen. And now it's like Neptune is going, and I'm coming on this side of the veil. I'm actually wanting to come into this scene. Aries is self. I'm actually wanting to make myself known more to you. I want to be much more present in your sense of self. Feel for that for a minute. So this is like the great spiritual aspect, is wanting to be more known by you, your spirit self. I like these words for Neptune. High spirit self. It's like high spirit self, high spirit self. And high spirit self moving out of Pisces, which is the other side of the veil, the unseen, into high spirit self moving into right here. It's like he's moving right into your face, it's like, and I'm right here, like your high spirit self. This is a really great practice, by the way. Something you could super do today is just high spirit self. And you almost visualize or energetically intend high spirit self just landing right in front of you, like landing right in front of your face. Like, wow, that's what Neptune wants to do, is high spirit self wants to just land right here. It's a powerhouse of a practice today. Higher heart, this point is a Neptune point. I don't know if I can show you this. Let me see. Why not? So right here, you see this, like just below, like clavicle part. If you tap this, right? And this is the higher seat of the soul. This is a Neptunian point, superpower point here. And you're just like high spirit self, high spirit self, high spirit self, like landing in self, landing in self, landing in self, landing in self, like, oh, who am I? Who am I? As my high spirit self lands more and more in myself, lands more and more in myself in this higher seat of the soul, like this is soul work, right? Soul work. And it's Neptune about to shift the trajectory of our lives. It's part of why everyone's saying 2025 is going to be one of the most transformative years in our lifetimes. Probably. This could potentially be the most transformative. Hey, baby. Poor little Tucker got super sick last night. I know, he really did not like the Neptune transit into Aries, but he's kept me awake for 2 nights now, which is super altered state of consciousness, getting no sleep. That's also Neptune. So feel for that. Altered states of consciousness, non-ordinary states of consciousness. Are you called to do something to bring you into non-ordinary states of consciousness to help with this transition? It's almost like our spiritual lives are asking for a reset. It's like, because the reset point is this 0 of Aries. It's reset. That's the first, that's like the reset point of the zodiac. It's 0 point. It's creation point. And it's like, if you were to recreate your relationship to spirit, you were to recreate your spiritual life based on who you are now. Like I know my spiritual life 10 years ago. Oh my God, so different. So fucking different. So different. I was like, oh my God. I was like a little baby priestess or little baby mystic, and everything was like so miraculous. And now the miraculous is like the ordinary. Now it's a whole different place. But even for me, it's really important. And so just if this feels right for you, feel for what could you do to like honor or strip down to like 0 point in your spiritual life, your spirit self, your relationship to spirit, your relationship to your high spirit self. You were to strip it down, naked, bare, nothingness, 0 point, and go, what is it that really lights me up for my spiritual life? What is it that's calling to my spirit now? Like, where am I being called? And I would do that after You do this PowerPoint, this higher heart practice, this really calling in a high self spirit to land in higher seat of the soul. Now there's a lower seat of the soul point too, right? You could invite this in for higher seat of the soul, and then there's a lower seat of the soul point. We're going to work with that on April 1st in Bones, in membership. I've been talking about this forever. Also in Bones and in membership is the 2025 Astrology Deep Dive. I think now is a really good moment in time to review like what the astrology is going to do for the rest of the year. So when is Neptune moving back into Pisces? When is he going to be in Aries? This next eclipse is going to be in September. So we just hit that last eclipse yesterday. You can kind of feel there's like a 6-month sort of cycle that's gonna have. This energy from this eclipse will carry over for 6 months until the next eclipse is in September. P.S. We're doing live events in Australia in September, like right in that eclipse energy. So if you want to do some live in-person stuff, we got 2 events happening in Australia that are right around those 2 big eclipses happening in September. So if you're like, oh my God, I'd love to really go for it on the spiritual axis. So these eclipses are now all happening on the Virgo-Pisces axis. Virgo-Pisces axis, that's the spiritual axis. Neptune moving into Aries, that's a huge shift in our spirituality. Y'all, this is such a moment in time. Really want to encourage us to, for the next 2 weeks, eclipse energies will last 2 weeks after that peak of it. And yesterday was the peak, the 29th of March. So we've got about 2 weeks. Also, Mercury will be retrograde for another 2 weeks. Same with Venus will be retrograde for another 2 weeks. We have a 2-week timeline right now, where our spiritual practices are going to pay off tenfold. And feel into the practice I just shared with you today. It's a reset point, and really feeling into, what am I called to for my spiritual practice? I've got to support my spiritual life. Neptune is also on the North Node. That has to do with your purpose in life. So it's like, if I were to support my spiritual practice in life, it's also going to support my true north path. It's going to support what it is that I am able to uncover around purpose, and what it is that I'm able to uncover around what is fulfilling to me. What is my true high, right, path in this lifetime. So powerful, y'all, these next 2 weeks. Whatever it is that you're called to, maybe you're called to be in Bones with me, right? There's 9 hours of practices. It's $59. You get a whole month of stuff. You do have to sign up before the 31st because there's a bunch of bonuses in there that disappeared. It's our Eclipse little special that we have going on. If you type Bones, we can send you information on that. There's also Threefold Path. If you type Threefold, that's our mystery school. We've never put a mystery school out of that degree publicly in this way and discounted it by like 80%, like 79%. That's fucking crazy. We're not doing that again. But if that sings to you, to do something really big and to enter a mystery school, that is something that could support you in this recalibration of spiritual life. But feel for you. Feel for you. What is it? For me, I need a lot of space. Like, I moved to the mountains. I needed to be at elevation of like 8,000 feet. That to me, and just a lot of space. I needed a particular energy for this whole shift. And so I'm in these Nevada mountains, and it's just like, I need spaciousness. I need spaciousness. I need spaciousness. This is my reset point. This is what's calling for my high spirit self. But for you, it could be very, very different. Very, very different. Maybe it's joining Bones. Maybe it's doing the Threefold Path. Maybe it's getting into some like real shamanic practices. Maybe it's getting into some real like consciousness, divine masculine based practices. Maybe it's getting into some real embodiment practices, like Shakti awakening practices, feminine practices. Feel into the different sort of paths for your spirituality, and the one that sings to you, do it. Especially for these next 2 weeks, because what we do now is going to pay off tenfold. We don't get these energetics all that often. All right. Massive love to you. Type Bones if you want Bones. Type Threefold if you're in for that. Type 301 if you want to watch a podcast on Venus retrograde, Mercury retrograde. That's super, super good. And I got one more video to do for us tomorrow. So if you want to hop on that, I don't know what we're talking about tomorrow, but and if you want to scroll back, there's some videos in the past that all capture the energetics of the moment. My gosh, it's been amazing to be here with you. I've really loved doing this Eclipse series with you. I know we have one little video left tomorrow. Tucker's also loved it too. Let me get a little Tucker shot in there. You've been in a lot of videos, love. All right. Love you guys.